Hey viewer, I'm here once again with my good friend CJ,
Hello.
and we're doing another Nostalgic Stories. Now this time with a lot of the stuff that's been going on with Sega, I decided to do one on Sonic, and I figured it was a perfect time, though I will admit I'm kind of late on it. Mostly just recording issues, but I got someone to talk to now. So CJ, why don't you start?
Where specifically?
Just anywhere, like what was your first exposure to Sonic in general?
That goes back to when I was maybe 6 years old. One of my uncles is a very technologically educated kind of person, I guess you could say.
I think I met him.
Possibly. I'm not entirely sure on that one.
Was he the one that gave you a bunch of fireworks?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've met him.
Okay. Well, back then, he was staying with my grandparents, his parents. Up in his room, he had a very large TV, which was fascinating to very small men, and several consoles. If I recall correctly, he had a Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, a Panasonic 3DO, which I do actually have experience with, a Dreamcast, and I want to say one of the PlayStations, but I don't recall exactly, and then his computer and his stereo and all that kind of stuff. Well, whenever I got bored of playing the Super Nintendo, he would offer me to play various different of the games and consoles that he had. I actually got quite a bit of time on his 3DO in this point, but this is about when I was introduced to Sonic on the Dreamcast with Sonic Adventure 1. This was long before I could even read, to be honest, so experience back then was... it's a little broken up in terms of memory. I do remember having an insanely difficult time beating Chaos Zero for some reason. I don't know why. It just never made sense to me how to beat him. And then I got lost in the Hub World adventure fields quite often. But even to this day, I still love the Hub Worlds and adventure worlds and whatnot. And it's still enjoyable for me. But
Anyway, here's mine. Anyway, you done with your introduction?
I could go on a little bit longer, but I'll get into that later.
All right. Now, for me, I told you this a while ago, but I remembered my brother really liked the Adventures cartoon, and I did find an old tape of the Saturday morning cartoon. I think it was broken when I found it. The only reason I knew it was a Saturday one was because it had the title of one of the episodes on it. It was Sonic Racer. But I don't know if I watched it. And for Adventures, I don't really remember it. I think the vaguest memory I really have is of Donkey Kong Country and Rugrats, which is a video for another day. Then I don't really remember when you showed me the adventure games, and the one I mostly remembered was Adventure 2. Though you did let me play Adventure 1, specifically Chaos Zero. And then you had that problem with the Supersonic thing, right? I think you did have that problem at that time with the disc.
Oh, yeah. I've gone through so many disc copies of that game, it's not even funny. I think I'm on my 6th one now. I don't know what it is. It might be my Dreamcast, it might be just wear and tear, or maybe I'm handling them wrong. I don't know why or how.
I don't know, my copies are going good.
Working.
I know my copies are going good so far. But I don't know.
You're a lot luckier compared to me, I guess.
Yeah. For me with Sonic Adventure, the most I remember was you letting me play. I think it was City Escape, Pumpkin Hill, the Egg Golem fight, and I think the King Boom Boo fight, and that's about it. The rest of it was just me watching you.
Yeah, apologies for that. It's been years.
Yeah. The water isn't even under the bridge now. It's gone. The water isn't even there anymore. The water, it's so long the water's not even there.
It's evaporated.
Yeah.
Alright, would you like me to continue on my old experiences?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, again, in the same little area that my uncle had set up, he had his computer and everything, and he was well familiar with the process that caused the death of the Dreamcast. You could burn games for these things.
Yeah.
And it was also like 5 years after the Dreamcast was even introduced, so it was fairly popular to do so at that point. Well, one of the days I'm sitting there fumbling around in the adventure field because I didn't know where to go. He looks at me and asks me if I want to play Sonic Adventure 2. I was like, oh my god, a sequel to this? Awesome. Well, yeah. And so he burns a copy, puts it in, and that's what hooked me to Sonic permanently, because Sonic Adventure 2 is just such a vast improvement over Sonic Adventure 1 in so many ways.
Yeah.
I still love Sonic Adventure 1, but
same here.
The removal of the adventure fields removed the big problem I had with Sonic Adventure 1. I couldn't even read, so the hint whatnots that you can find throughout the game, I think Tikal, or the little air, like, light bubble thing, would actually visually talk to you, or not visually
it does talk to you, yeah.
But even then, I'm not sure I understood what it was talking about. So any of the hints that people gave, I couldn't even read at this point. Again, it predated my experience with being able to read. That is how long ago I played this game. Since I got lost in the adventure fields, I never made much progress into the game. But when it came to Sonic Adventure 2, how it would move from level to level to level, I had no issues progressing. I beat the game. I think I beat the hero mode in about probably 4 hours. Again, I was a little kid, I did die a lot. But then...
That's still good.
And it's still fairly good. I mean, nowadays I could beat it in probably an hour and a half. I don't even know. I'd have to try. But, probably even less than that. Probably less than that. I don't know. But, it took me my own Dreamcast, my own copy of Sonic Adventure 2, and probably about a year, maybe 2, with the fairly large variety of games I had at the time, to beat both the Hero and Dark mode. I mean, I was in 2nd grade by the time that I knew about the last story and actually got to it.
Oh yeah, I remembered watching you play that before you got the air necklace.
Yeah, that's what
you never got past Knuckles, and I remember just thinking, come on, you can do it, come on, oh.
And then I would drown in that hole.
And then I do kind of vaguely remember, like I usually think about this, like if only I was playing it, I would win. Then I remember I wouldn't.
Well, there's no proof of that. You might have gone through an area with a different strategy that, I just never bothered to try. Yeah. So,
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Like, yeah, I didn't have that much experience with the game when you had it. My guy's always just watching, so...
And you did only visit fairly infrequently, so...
Yeah.
But, yeah,
I do remember you and Caleb had your room right next to where the TV was, so, like, when it was time for lights out, we would sneak over a window that was there.
Yeah, we'd just sneak out that little window since...
That was enjoyable.
It was the little rebellious childhood phase. It was fun.
Yes, it's always fun, especially when you have a TV and a Dreamcast right next to your room and a window.
Well, or any given console, really. But, that's what I had. I had the Dreamcast. And I still love it. I still have it, too. It still works. I just don't have it hooked up anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, well. But that's basically my childhood with Sonic in a nutshell. Until, I remember seeing a trailer for Sonic Heroes, I think.
For me, you remember Boys Life, the magazine?
No.
I do remember that, like I was in Scouts and all that, and I'd get them, and some of the commercials, I remember seeing a thing for Sonic Riders and Shadow the Hedgehog. Riders never interested me, but Shadow surprisingly did.
And that took off fairly significantly for you.
No, the first time I played it, it was at more of an acquaintance when he was getting his mission call, and I played that for a bit, and then just didn't know what to make of it, and just assumed it was bad, and then later got it used, and then played it more and enjoyed it.
Yeah. That basically sums up my childhood experience with Sonic. I didn't get back into the series until, more specifically, I didn't get any of the other games until...
Are you talking about I think you're talking about the console games, because I remembered me and you played a lot the handheld games, specifically Battle and Advance 2.
Yeah, I am speaking more specifically of the console games, because my handheld experience is fairly hit and miss. I prefer consoles to a certain degree, but I do really want to get a 3DS. Probably the new 3DS XL, if anything. But I'm just so out of the handheld phase that it's messed up a lot of things for me.
Yeah. I do remember enjoying Sonic Battle quite a bit. I got it recently too, and I actually got really frustrated. You know how a Game Boy Advance screen can be kind of fragile?
Yeah.
You know that annoying thing when you hit your controller?
What do you mean?
I broke the screen by punching it during the Sonic vs. Shadow fight at the end of Shadow Story, and I need to get a new GBA.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah. The most I remembered was you had, like, the best stuff already, so when I played it, I was just like, this is fun. I didn't have to do that pesky working.
Yeah, no, I have nothing to say about that one, to be honest.
I actually have some surprisingly fond memories of Battle, but when I play it now, because I am not leveled up, I don't have the thing leveled up, and now that the Advance is busted, I'm not going to get any better. Anyway, I do have a lot of good fond memories of enjoying kind of surprisingly the story in that one, but yeah, playing it again, it's frustrating.
Yeah, with Battle specifically?
Battle specifically. Advance 2, I barely remembered.
I never played the advanced games.
I have Advance 2, and it is ridiculous.
I never liked them.
Yeah, I don't even know what I was thinking when I got that game. Well, actually, surprisingly, I do know what I was thinking when I got that again. I was thinking, everyone was saying, it's one of they're great, the handhelds are all great. Because they're in 2D.
Yeah.
Oh, remember Rush Adventure? That one also. Vaguely.
Rush Adventure, I have the most handheld experience, but I actually got them in the wrong order, though.
Yeah, I mostly remember Rush Adventure.
Yeah, I got that one before Rush. Not by intention, it was just completely accidental. Nobody knew which one came first, in my family at least.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really consult the internet much at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I played the most, and that's probably the thing I played most on my DS, because I never did get, like, a Pokemon game or anything for it.
Yeah, the most I recall for handhelds was actually remember the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series.
Those games.
Those were my earliest owned
They're not
quote Sonic unquote games until I got Sonic 06 for the 360.
Those aren't good on handheld. That's the problem.
The Wii version isn't. I actually kind of enjoyed the story mode on Winter Olympic Games.
That's the only reason I wanted a Wii version of the Olympic Games. I thought I was like, oh my god, it's going to be amazing on the Wii. And no, it's gone.
The only thing it has going for it is the Perfect Chaos thing.
Yeah, that was... I often forget about that, but that was worth it, I'll say.
Yeah.
That was really nice throwback.
Yeah.
And then Generations came out and completely overshadowed it.
Yeah, you know, which one do you think's better, the Generations or original?
For nostalgia's sake, I will say the original, but in terms of actual gameplay mechanics, Generations has a beat. I do think they very seriously missed an opportunity to let you use the supersonic upgrade thing in that boss fight, because I don't know why it was disabled in all the boss fights and rival fights. You couldn't use it.
Yeah.
I think it was a really seriously missed opportunity there.
Yeah, I enjoyed both fights about the same, but then again, that's mostly just because they're just different. The original's very straightforward. The second one, the Generations one's a bit more platformy. Though I do like the original version of the song.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, and I actually kind of prefer the older look of Perfect Chaos to the newer one.
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong, they both look stupid.
No, well, the only one that looked good was the pre-rendered cutscene one.
Yeah. In Adventure.
Yeah.
That is the only one that looked good.
Why they didn't do that in Generations confuses me.
Because they wanted to put the shell on it. Which you know
Good
how...
for them.
Yeah, you know how in the original, in the game engine, it looks like a dildo?
I never did the comparison. I always made it look like a giant like lizard with Elvis lip curl, but still.
But yeah, it looks like a dildo in the original. Now, it looks like a dildo with foreskin. That's what I hate using. I don't really like using humor like that, but it kind of looks like that. You get the analogy. Yeah. They both look stupid. But anyway, going on, let's actually talk about the cartoons too. You were talking about Underground, right?
Yeah, again, but I think it was...
Oh, well, we're recording, so whoever's watching this probably doesn't know our context with it.
Yeah, I'll give a little backstory here. This was a couple years after Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 for me, so this was kind of exciting. I mean, I only had experience with 2 of the games at this point. I believe I was in 4th grade, so this has been about 10 years. No, not 10, no, about 8 years. By chance or accident, I think, I'm not really sure which one, I woke up an hour early one day before school, and rather than just go back to sleep like a normal little child, I went out and turned the TV on, just fished through the cartoon channels because that's what I normally did, and then there it was, and there's Sonic Underground. I was like, oh my god, a Sonic cartoon? That sounds amazing. So I clicked onto it because it sounded exciting, and for an 7 or 8 year old me, I guess it was exciting, but that wasn't a very good show.
It's garbage through and through.
What bothered me was the green one. I don't even remember his name.
Manic.
Sure.
No, really, that's his name.
Okay.
It's that I remember it.
There was a point, like, they were consistently looking for their mom or something?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Like, he like, tried to stop them at every turn. It just pissed me off. It was always like, oh, hey, maybe we can just settle here. And it was like, no, go find your mom, you lazy moron.
It sucks that the show never even gave us an ending, too. Like,
see, that doesn't even bother me. I don't care for the show.
Yeah. Well, you probably did when you were younger, right?
Not really. It was just, oh, I'm a kid. Oh, there's a Sonic cartoon. I'll watch it. But then for another hour, no, not an hour. Yeah, actually about an hour. There were other cartoons to watch, like Tom and Jerry and the Looney Tunes and whatnot. So I watched those instead, and it kind of would overwrite the experience, I guess. So it was like, oh, there's a mediocre Sonic oh, look, Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes. Okay, I've forgotten about what I was watching before.
Yeah. And I remembered you did have a Sonic X VHS tape. I remembered watching some of that.
Yeah, that was the race episode.
I don't even
episode,
know.
And I think there was a third one, but I don't...
All I remembered was it was the King Boom Boo episode.
Huh?
I think all I remembered was it was the King Boom Boo episode, which was...
Well, it included 3 episodes. It was the King Boom Boo one, which was lame. One moment.
It completely does injustice to King Boom Boo.
Yeah, well, he was admittedly kind of cool. It was kind of neat to see him like that, but it was a really stupid episode overall. But damn, that goes to one second. I apologize for that. It had the 3 episodes. There was one about Knuckles. I don't remember the details of that. He talked to some guy. The shovel claws were in it. He dug a hole. He fought a robot. That's about all I remember. Yeah. There was the King Boom Boo one, which sums itself up, really, and then the race one, which also sums itself up. But that was almost literally my only experience with Sonic X. I've never watched any of it since, other than seeing a YouTube clip of the Sonic Adventure story arc adaptation where he fights Perfect Chaos, who looked ridiculous.
You did not miss out on anything. I decided to check it out, and I think I told you this, but it's pretty much Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 with just a bunch of characters that really played no purpose in the game added that really didn't need to be there. Wasn't even that good of an adaptation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that just makes me go, I have the game. If I want to see that, I'll just go play it.
My overbearing problem with that show is Chris Thorndike.
That is a big problem, but then again, if you look at most other, you ever seen the Japanese Mega Man anime? The one that, I think it was an old one, it also had Mega Man but didn't focus on him? I don't know.
Was that the one where you fused with a robot?
I don't know.
It was a normal kid, but with a robot on him or something.
I think that I don't know. All I've seen was a couple of screenshots and just a little bit of it to know it was not a. I only saw a little bit of it was some other thing that pretty much let me know it wasn't even really about Mega Man.
Yeah.
It's
Most Japanese shows I have almost no experience with. I mean, I watch anime, yeah, sure, but that's not exactly. None of them are video game adaptations. None of them are things from over here that are popular and, Japan wants to capitalize on it. It's always weird stuff that Japan makes famous that gets over here. Attack on Titan being a perfect example right there.
Yeah, I don't really watch anime. I think the only anime I've really enjoyed that I did watch was Death Note, but that's beside the point. Anyway, you've seen the other shows, right?
Which ones?
The Adventures in Sad AM.
Oh, yeah. Not full through in any amount. I've seen online reviews, I've seen online talkabouts, I've seen little clips of it online, but I've never sat down to watch an entire episode online. So, I know what they are, I know what they're about, but I don't know...
You don't have any experience watching them.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I never really watched anything beyond that, actually.
I've seen Adventures, a few episodes. I remembered when I was in middle school they aired Underground and Adventure, I had a DVR, so I'd record them and then just wake up at 3 in the morning to go watch them. Pretty much what you did with Underground, only I stuck through it. Wasted sleep.
Yeah.
Adventures was just stupid. I do have Sad AM on DVD and I really like it.
And I haven't watched enough of it to give a definitive opinion and actual review on Sad AM, so I'm just going to stick out of this one.
Yeah, if you want my thoughts, it's actually surprisingly probably the closest adaptation to the original games. Despite using a different overall cast, or better described, they just add to the cast, which when you get down to it are just anthro versions of most of the flickies you save in the first game.
Yeah. There was actually a game that they were going to make at one point. But
yeah, and I think that's why it's always been, from what I can tell with Sad AM and the actual game continuity, it's kind of a weird thing because it almost did become part of the continuity.
Almost being the key word there.
For better or for worse.
It had a very arbitrary reason to be canceled, though. If I remember right, it was...
It was because
it played too slow.
It looked too slow, and I think they actually could have gotten around that if they just showed a quick level in addition to the slower stuff.
Yeah, an escape sequence or something.
Yeah, a big quick escape sequence.
So basically Metroid, Oh no, the base is going to explode.
Yeah, Sonic with kind of a... I don't know. I don't think it was gonna play like Metroid.
I know it looked.
I mean, it looked pretty. It looked pretty cool. If it wasn't, I'd probably be interested. At least. Depends though on how it was done.
I wouldn't even bother to play it, to be honest.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoy a lot of the stuff that came in the Dreamcast era, but yeah. Really couldn't say. It didn't happen, so it's hard to really get a definitive opinion when stuff like that doesn't happen.
Other than that, I don't really have so many other nostalgic stories to admit. Really.
Yeah, and we're clocking in around 25 minutes now, so... But anyway, here's kind of the rest of my nostalgic story. Remember all the Sprite videos we used to watch?
Oh, yeah.
That is my most prominent memories of anything Sonic related, was me and you watching things like Sonic Shorts and the Sprite videos.
Those were fun.
I haven't watched the Sprite videos recently. I probably will after we're done recording this, but I have watched Sonic Shorts recently, and they're pretty funny. If taken a bit too seriously.
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was the, why am I driving a car? That's why Sonic Drift sucks joke was taken a bit too seriously.
I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I hardly even remember that episode, to be honest.
Yeah. I think you planned on making a few Sprite videos, but they never came through.
I did, because I spent all of my time and effort trying to figure out how the Flash animators did it. And that's how I learned Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Then it just never really got around.
And then you lost interest. And I do remember having some longer term interest, but then lost it as well.
Well, it was partly, it was partly lost interest because I kind of got over the whole craze for a while. But then it was also that I really couldn't come up with any original stories. Like, when it comes to coming up with creative and original things, that happens to me once or twice every 3 months. I can take an idea and I can fill it with lots of cool concepts, but I can't ever come up with one.
My problem is usually I can think of pretty fun stuff to do. Like, I can't animate or operate things worth a damn. Like, I can usually try to come up with ideas, but I usually need someone to help me get the ideas off the ground. That's usually my problem.
See, I'm kind of the opposite spectrum of that. Again, like I said, I can't ever come up with an idea, but after I have the basic rough draft of it, I can just fill it with lots of things that'll make it actually interesting. Making something from the final thought, however, we'll see about if I ever get around to any of that.
Would you ever want to make any of those Sonic Sprite videos? Would you ever now?
I have no idea. I don't even have Flash anymore.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, for me, a lot of the memories I have mostly just come from me and you watching those videos, and kind of the whole thing with Sonic was just, like, for me, my first Sonic game I really owned was Sonic 06 on the 360, which I willingly went back to and surprisingly enjoyed it. I mean, not the whole thing, but,
It's kind of a guilty pleasure.
It is. It's a guilty pleasure. I know it's bad. I will acknowledge it's bad. There's plenty I don't like. I mean, I think some people confuse guilty pleasure with a lot of people don't like it, therefore I should say it's guilty. Like, for me, a thing that some people would call a guilty pleasure, like Wild Wild West, which a lot of people say is really bad. Normally, under those circumstances, it's easy to say, for me, it's a guilty pleasure, but for me, I don't feel guilty at all. Like, if you're going to defend liking it, then I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure, but in the case of 06, no defense there.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and then, I got a bunch of the older games, I got some of the newer ones. I now have Colors and Unleashed. Colors...
You just have bad experiences with that one. I quite enjoy that one.
No, it frustrates me. Unleashed.
It's all personal preference, though.
Unleashed, I haven't finished yet at this time, but, making it through. I probably will try to beat that one at least, but I don't know.
I can actually give some thoughts on Unleashed if you'd like me to.
Go right ahead.
And I'm not going to do it for Colors or 06 because then this would go on for another 40 minutes or so. But
yeah.
With Unleashed in particular, I actually used to really love the game, partly because I didn't have my Dreamcast hooked up at the time, first off. Second off, the discs are busted anyway. Again, my issue with Sonic Adventure 1. But I had 06 and I had Unleashed. And the internet had kind of turned me sour to 06. So I played Unleashed a lot, and I used to really like it. I used to especially like playing as the Werehog for some reason. But since then, my taste has shifted significantly, and I find it really, really difficult to even go back to that game. Just since then, so many better games have come out that do so many more things correctly that I just can't go back to it.
For me, Unleashed, playing it, there's things I enjoy, and then there's things that, to me, are just a painful reminder of things I'm not going to end up liking that come later. Like, specifically, a lot of the boost gameplay, which I always found controlled awkwardly. Probably just me being so used to the adventure style gameplay, and
I suppose
having a poor...
The boost style in Unleashed is a little bit unwieldy. It was the first attempt at it, first off, and so they didn't have all the
Kinks worked
all
out.
the kinks and whatnot worked out. They didn't even know exactly what did and didn't work perfectly. So, yeah.
And here's the other thing that Unleashed kind of was a big painful reminder of what was going to come, specifically using gimmicks in place of other characters, which, I enjoy the other characters. Like the Werehog could have easily have been Knuckles, for example.
Yeah, that kind of sticks with the whole, it should have been Sonic and Knuckles 2.
Yeah, and then the Wisps probably seem like replacements for could easily just end up being replacements for characters and all that. Which sucks, because I like the characters, for the most part at least. And then, Colors was the start of just the writing for the characters that annoyed me, like Sonic being so ridiculously smuggish that reminds me of jocks in high school that I just want to punch.
Yeah.
Fun fact, they would let me punch them.
Okay.
But yeah, I never really followed through. I have a problem following through with my threats, if you can call them that. Usually, I remembered if someone wanted to get into a fight with me, I'd just go tell some random guy, hey, could you go beat them up for me? And I wouldn't even make sure if they even follow through on it, so yeah. Anyway, a bit off topic, but anyway. But yeah, what do you think of with the things like with Sega kind of being, at least Sega of America and Europe being in their situation?
I don't follow all the details and whatnot. That's
Neither do I.
So I'm completely out of this loop.
Yeah. I do kind of miss a lot of the stuff like the adventure type of gameplay and all that, and a lot of the stuff with other characters. That's, to me, when it comes to Sonic, the big thing I miss. What about you?
I do miss the multiple characters, I'll admit that much, and I do miss the classic physics attempt where, yes, if you have a lot of speed and you run at a wall that has a curve, you will go up the wall, but I don't see anything wrong with how it currently plays.
Anyway.
I miss it, but I'm not saying, we should go back to it.
For me, it's kind of weird, like, when it comes to adventure and things to me, adventure's that middle ground that I really enjoy, and then something like Sonic Boom, from what I can tell, is just really slow, and something like Unleashed and all that is just really fast.
Well,
and then it, loses.
Technically, that fits, given that, Sonic was designed for speed.
Admittedly, it controlled poorly when... Some of the places control poorly, and again,
it was the first attempt. So.
And I actually had a similar problem with Generations, too. Whenever not boosting or doing certain things, it's weird. Moving straight seems to go fast, and moving side to side just feels stiff.
Are you talking Mach speed segments?
No, I'm talking about Generations.
I know. I mean, are you talking about the bits where you're supposed to boost and then just, quick step left or right?
No, I'm talking about, regular stuff, I'm trying to remember the name of the level. I think it was... Actually, the level I played the most when I had Generations for the 360 was Modern City Escape. So, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's mostly just turning around, moving side to side that just seems awkward, but I don't know, that's just me.
Yeah, I guess. I've never had the issues myself, so I don't quite understand it.
Anyway. Will that be all?
That's all I can say for this match, anyway. Unless you got another topic.
Yeah, well... See you next time when I talk with another person about my thoughts and experiences with the Sonic community. You have a wonderful day.